guys, it's your girl Leah Danielle here, and I'm back with another video. Hold on, before we get into everything, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure y'all do all the good things, and let's get back into it. But today I am going to be doing my not so professional makeup routine. It was requested in my last video, and so I just want to go ahead and get that out the way. So yeah, I'm gonna start off with my Bobbi Brown Vitamin Face Base. Good stuff. It's pretty much a primer and a moisturizer all in one, which is really good for the skin. Okay, really good. Now I'm gonna go with my Brow Freeze by Anastasia Beverly Hills. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Most of this makeup or most of my routine or the makeup products that I do use in this routine are not gonna be inexpensive, if that makes sense. They're gonna be more on the expensive side. A little coin, little ching. Honestly, y'all, yeah, I used this or I initially started using makeup. I purchased all Fenty Beauty products, so pretty much I just went with what I thought would be good for me in my pockets. But you do what's good for you in your pockets. But this right here is a pomade. I'm gonna go with my eyebrow pomade on my eyebrows. Now this one I did definitely get from a beauty supply store. I ain't gonna lie, me and her been down bad together for a very long time. Love me a good little pomade, especially from the beauty supply store. This baby eats down. She's from Kiss. Love her so much. Like I said, do what's best for you in your pockets, okay? Because I did my big one with this one, and I freaking love this stuff. Some people say eyebrow pencils are better than pomade. To each its own. Do what's best for you in your pockets, okay? Because some products I love down bad, and this is one of the products that I love down bad. Okay, and she inexpensive, $3.99. Yes, ma'am. But I'm going in with my Fenty Beauty concealer. I don't know what shade this is in. I'm so sorry, y'all. It's more than likely like a 3 something or 2 something. But I'm going in with my concealer, and I'm going to line my eyebrows out to make sure that the girlies sit right, look nice, giving very much sisters, but not twins. Okay, I've always learned that because they gonna look different, because things are not shaped the same. One side is bigger than the other. Okay, we all know this. But yeah, I concealed and did my whole 9 yards. I'm let y'all gonna see that. But right here, I'm just going ahead and blending out, pushing that concealer down into my eyelid. I did have a eyelid concealer or primer, eyeshadow primer, but dogs never get a golden doodle. Okay, never get a golden doodle. Okay, they are the most destructive dogs in the entire world. Y'all, excuse my brother getting my niece. I had kept my niece for the weekend, and she was back there on the bed. Okay, so yeah. But now I'm going in with my NARS concealer, Mid Dark 2 Caramel. Y'all, love this stuff. This was my first ever purchase from NARS. Love NARS. Down bad. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and, like I said, I outlined that eyebrow, blend her out, make her look real nice. Okay, and now I'm gonna go in with my Coffee Shop palette from Juvia's Place. Now, I'm not even gonna lie to you, Fenty Beauty and Juvia's Place have been my day ones from the very beginning. I have always loved Juvia's Place, and I have always loved Fenty Beauty from like the very jump when I started my makeup journey almost 5 years ago. But yeah, so I'm gonna go in with a medium brown. They don't have any names on them, so I can't really tell you guys what shade I use to achieve my eyeshadow look. But just know, watch the video, go get the Coffee Shop palette, and you will see what colors I am referring to. But I went in with that medium brown, and then now I'm going in with a much darker mocha brown. It's not really mocha, but it's like more on the, I would say, mocha side. Y'all, this is my first one. I'm sorry. But on the mocha side, I'm just going to blend on the outer corner and the inner corner of my eye to give like that halo look that I'm going for, with that you will see in a few seconds. So I've just pretty much blended those colors out. I actually did this makeup look on a prom student that I did her makeup back in May. I did it on her for prom and I fell in love with the look. So, of course, I had to go and try it on myself. And, like I said, fell in love with it. This is probably like my normal makeup routine. This is pretty much the same eyelid look that I try to achieve each and every time that I do my makeup. So, this is pretty much like my normal thing. And one thing about Miss Juvia, okay, she is very pigmented. You don't have to go in with a lot of product to make sure that it shows. Miss Ma'am is going to pick up either way. So she is very pigmented, which I love so much. In a product, you have to be like very, very pigmented. So Juvia's Place is just like everything to me. And I literally almost have all of the palettes anyway. So yeah, we just love Miss Julia so much. Now I'm just gonna go in with a much darker brown, and I'm going to shape my lid or like do a liner look. You'll see it looks a little raggedy right now, but once I do all of the concealing stuff, it'll look pretty good. Now I'm gonna go in with my New York concealer, my orange concealer, color corrector, whatever you want to call it, to color correct some of the hyperpigmentation that I do have in my face because your girl got bags and hyperpigmentation real bad. So I'm just going in with my color corrector to make sure that those spots are blended out. All right, and now I'm going to go in with my contour stick from Fenty Beauty in the shade Truffle. Like I said, I pretty much have all Fenty Beauty products. Love her really down bad. And I was self-taught how to do my own makeup. So, like I said, this is not a professional makeup routine. This is pretty much my everyday routine of what I do when I do my makeup. So like I said, going in with that shade Truffle and just outlining my face. I actually learned this method through another influencer. I don't remember her name, but hopefully I will remember her name when I am done with this video. So you guys can go over there and see some of the techniques that she used in regards to doing her face. All right, and now I'm gonna go in with my liquid blush from Juvia's Place, Mari Gold, and I'm just gonna go in and blend that out and make sure that, like I said, this technique I learned from the influencer. I have to remember her name, and this has been like my routine since learning about her technique in regards to doing makeup. But I went ahead and blended that out and made sure that it looked really nice and blended. Now I'm going in with my concealer from Fenty Beauty in the shade 190. And I'm just going to conceal my under eye, forehead, nose, upper lip, and my chin. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and spray my face with some setting spray, and I'm gonna use a velour puff to go ahead and blend out my concealer. Now, if you watch Beats by Deb, you know for a fact that a velour puff is the way to go. Now, I'm not gonna diss no beauty blender; they do a great job as well, but I've gotten my best results when it comes to makeup using a velour puff to make sure that those concealer, whatever I use, is blended out perfectly. And like I said, love me a velour puff down bad. Like I said, the Beats by Deb really put me on using a velour puff when blending out concealer or foundation or whatever the case may be.
So I'm someone to hold true. Keep you cool when it's still alive. Won't let you down when it's all ruined. Just the same way you showed me.
All right, now that all of that is blended out, I'm gonna go in with my Fenty Beauty Hydrating Longwear Foundation in the shade 345 to go ahead and just put my foundation on, or blend out the color corrector and the contour and a little bit of that blush. Now you see here the technique that I'm using. I'm actually patting it into my face. I'm not rubbing it in. I only rub it in when I get to my chin, but I patted everything into my face because Fenty Beauty is a full coverage makeup, or it is a full coverage foundation. So I didn't want like a lot of the stuff to show, but I still wanted to be able to see my contour through my makeup or through my foundation, and I wanted to be able to see my blush through my foundation as well. So I went ahead and I tapped it into my face instead of actually, dragging it and blending it that way. And then I went in with a velour puff, the bottom end of the same velour puff that I used to do my concealer, and I just blended that out. Now I'm going to go in with my setting powder from Maybelline New York in the shade 105 to set my under eye, my forehead, all of those places that I concealed. I'm going to go in and just set that to make sure that it looks matte and that it is poreless. Now, setting powder is a must, not the loose. Now, you do need the loose one, but like the actual setting powder is like a must, because if you want that flawless look at the end of your makeup, it is a necessity, honestly, and it's very cheap. Maybelline New York, you can get it from either your local Dollar General. That was like, it was like $5 there, but I did get mine from Ulta Beauty and it was like $7, so it was very inexpensive. Now I'm going in with my loose setting powder in the shade Banana from Fenty Beauty, and I'm just going to go ahead and go over the setting powder that I've already set with my loose setting powder and just set the rest of my face.
This is life and mortality.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and brush some of that powder away, but I went in with my setting spray and I sprayed my face down with some of that setting powder left on there. I learned a new technique from a makeup artist, and they say, don't sweep away a lot of your powder. Just, whatever you use heavily, sweep that away, but then go in with your setting powder, and it should give you still that same flawless look. All right, and now I'm going to go in with my contour in the shade Island King from Fenty Beauty, and I'm just going to bring myself back to life because I was a little dead, but I'm gonna bring myself back to life with some contour. I don't use a lot of this because I used to, when I was in my early stages, I would be a little black in the face, so it would look a little crazy. But with this, like I said, you live and you learn, and you grow as you are progressing in your makeup journey. So I'm just gonna take some of that same contour and I'm gonna go on my nose, and outline my nose a little bit better, because you do lose your nose a little bit when you are setting and doing all of the concealing and everything like that. So now I'm going to go in with my blush palette volume 2 from Juvia's Place, and I'm just going to go in and retouch up some of that blush that I did lose when I was concealing and doing all of the powder. I'm just gonna go in and retouch that up. And I ain't gonna lie, love this stuff really bad. Like I said, Juvia's Place is very, very pigmented. A little goes a long way. I love this stuff so much. At first, I really didn't like using blush at all when I did my makeup routines, but you cannot live without blush. You cannot go without blush when you are doing a full face of makeup. She literally brings you to life. So we love blush. But I'm just going to go in with that same brown that I used on my lids, and I'm going to do my under eye. Kind of also, like I said, outline the under eye a little bit, bring her back to life some, make her look a little good. All right, I'm just doing a little touching up here with some of the setting powder just to kind of bring some of that back. Now I'm going to go in with my Fenty Beauty highlighter in the color of Rose Rave. Like I said, I use a lot of Fenty Beauty products. Love Fenty Beauty down bad. Hey, go ahead and sponsor me. Send a PR package. We love her, okay? But yeah, I'm just going to go in and do my highlight. I went back in with my pomade just to touch up my eyebrows because, in the process of powdering and doing everything else, you will lose your brows a little bit. So you got to bring them back to life a little bit just to make her look really, really good. All right, and now I'm going to go ahead and set my face before I do my finishing touches up with mascara because, of course, we know if you blink and you mess up your mascara, it's going to be all over your face. But I went in with my mascara from Ulta. I actually had the Fenty Beauty mascara, but like I said, a golden doodle is the worst dog eggs you can ever get. Okay, so I went in with my mascara and touched my lower lashes up. I went ahead and lined my lip with a old eyebrow pencil. As you can tell, yes, it's an eyebrow pencil. It would not show up on my face, so I just use it for my lips. And she does the same thing that a lip liner does, and I still get the best results either way. So pretty much this was the end result of it all. This was me before church, and I also have another one of me for my second service. Make sure that y'all follow, like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on my social media platforms on Instagram and TikTok, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.